Hello, everybody. Coming up in this edition of Hutch's Weather, the thunderstorms, the severe weather has finally pushed off to the east. Areas of very heavy rain hit the valley. We'll go over that. I'll have details on what you can expect as we head towards your holiday weekend forecast. That's all what's coming up next on Hutch's Weather.
Now, a Hutch's Weather Update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, here is a look at what we have going on right now. That sticky, humid air has pushed way off to the east into parts of Minnesota. The green colors you see there generally are dew points that have soared or continue to soar to near 70 degrees, but they are now pushing out south and east of Rochester. That dry air punching into the valley, dew point temperatures that are in the 50s. That's about average for our area this time of the year. This showing the current conditions right now, having that drier air pushing in. It definitely feels a lot cooler here in the Red River Valley. Grand Forks, your dew points right around that 50-degree mark as well. Minot 42. What? That is cold and dry air. So when we get air this dry, the temperature can quickly fall down toward that dew point temperature on a long, dark, clear night, particularly if there hasn't been a lot of recent rains. Now, we do have some low-level moisture that's fallen across the area, some of us pretty heavy-duty on the rain, but look at these dew points out here in the west. We're talking Miles City, Montana, warming up a little bit, but look at those dew points down into the 30s in a couple of spots right out here near Bismarck, where that dew point is dipping down into the upper 30s. So dry air is the fact of the matter, and that's what's pushed in. This is what it looks like on the satellite loop, and hey, if you have a mind to, drop me a note. Let me know where you're watching from and what are your plans for the big holiday weekend. As we close the book on summer, we open the book on meteorological fall. Drop a note and let me know what you're going to do. I'll share my plans as well. Let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to your comments and questions. Good to have you on, Brenda. I know that you love the cool, and that's always nice. Look at this. Here's all the clouds, showers, and thunderstorms of any significance here. The towering clouds moving into parts of Iowa and Wisconsin now. Showers are finally exiting Gopher land out there in the Minneapolis area as the Gophers trying to get some football in out there. And for our area, though, we are crystal clear and crystal quiet as we head into the evening hours. So that's the bottom line in the forecast as we get started. Let's take a look at that hour-by-hour forecast to get you going. But first, let's take a look at that radar, and we'll show you what we have going on out to the east. So showers and thunderstorms not too plentiful around here with the clear skies right now. And as we look off to the east, here's Minneapolis. It is still raining on the south side of the metro area there. Likely, though, a little bit better for the football game as we look out to the eastern and northern portions of the area. There were confirmed tornadoes on the ground that hit north of the Twin Cities area. Those moved into parts of northern and western Wisconsin tonight. Now, here is a look at what we have going on with those storms. They continue to bring a punch of severe weather along the leading edge out here in Decorah, Iowa, Waverly, Iowa, all the way out towards the Black River Falls area out in Wisconsin, heading in towards Stephen Point, Portage, as well as Dubuque on the Iowa side of the river. Now, these storms extend all the way down into the areas of Salina, Kansas, and for our bison out there doing their best out there tonight. And we do have out in Boulder, Colorado, very quiet conditions, as you can see here. There's Boulder, there's the Denver area, and all the thunder showers have avoided that area as well. So here's what we have going on for our neck of the woods. Let's take a look at one forecast model here. But first, I do want to point out that we got a little bit of rain in the area. Let me show you a little bit about how much rainfall we got. Here it is as we take a peek at that. And now, while we're looking at this, I'm going to go ahead and load up the latest forecast model. First thing to keep in mind is the track of thunderstorms last night brought repeating showers and repeating storms over the Grand Forks area, the Crookston area, some reports as high as 3 or more inches of rain falling in that area. Now, we did get Maddock with 1.07 inches of rain. That was a nice amount of rain in that general vicinity. Whoopsies. Okay, whoopsies. Let's see if I can find the graphic here again. Okay, so as we zoom in, the Grand Forks area, and 3.21 inches is what's underneath the Grand Forks name tag there. I'm sorry about that. 2.44 for Grand Forks. Along the Highway 200 corridor, the end-on sites are reporting 1 to 2 inches of rain there, and the heavier rain that did trek its way through Jamestown, 2.5 inches there. And look at that, way up there in the northeast corner of Stutsman County, not far from Woodworth, we have 2.56 inches of rain. Kensel, I should say, as well. Now, out in Lakes Country, it was a different story. We did have some 1-inch totals in the eastern side of Becker County from some repeated performance there, but only 19 100ths out at Hector International. Hutch's rain gauge here in South Moorhead had 23 100ths. That's it. You get into the Sabin area, 57 100ths. So that's a look at the rainfall totals that fell across our area as we went through the last 2 days. And our weather is expected to stay on the dry side as we go through. Let's take a look at the forecast model now that is loading up as we speak. So this is what you need to know about the forecast model guidance. As I wait for it to load here, we'll set it into motion. Here we go. For the afternoon and evening hours here, we're going to see the continuation of storms pushing off into Wisconsin. Minneapolis and southern parts of Minnesota could still see some showers into the late night hours. Let me load the model timeline here so you can read that. My apologies for that. Okay, there we go. So that's towards 10 o'clock. By 11, things start quieting down there. I do think we'll see some areas of patchy, dense fog for those of you traveling back from the Gopher game out there. So keep that in mind. Nighttime tonight, patchy dense fog setting up into the overnight hours and morning out in southern Minnesota. For us here in the valley, it will be cooler. We'll see our wind that'll be fairly light. Look at that big swirl of rainfall that's wrapping around the Hudson Bay area. Now, as we take this through the rest of our overnight hours here, heading into your Friday morning, look at that. Very quiet across the valley here. We're talking about nothing on the future radar out here to be concerned about. Then as we go through the day, the nothingness continues. So it's going to be a very quiet day. The sunshine returns in earnest, and we're talking about winds that'll be westerly or northwesterly. Those winds will pick up from the west a little bit late in the day. Look at this. Heading into Saturday, do you see the showers and thunder showers working out of Saskatchewan? Those will have a chance at impacting northern Minnesota, but the rest of us have a quiet weekend as we go in, and that's what's in store for us. So keeping in mind that we do have quieter weather, let's get right to that forecast, shall we? Here's your holiday forecast, and we'll look at a couple of the other fun stuff. Number one, it looks like we go into the weekend with some hot weather on Friday and Saturday, 80s here in Fargo-Moorhead, and it'll be a little warmer out to the west. Northern Minnesota, you will be cooler with a northerly flow, and there is that slight chance of a thunder shower Saturday as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, but it's in northern Minnesota is the best chance of that. That will bring north winds into the area as we go into Saturday night, and look at the temperature drop for the second half of your holiday weekend. Sunday into Labor Day, temperatures in the low 70s for Fargo. We'll have some 60s up there in northern Minnesota. Keep that in mind. Most of us will see sunny skies though, and there'll be some breezy northwest winds continuing on Sunday and decreasing as we get out of your Labor Day. Back to school, back to work. It looks like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will have conditions that will be fair. So let me take a look here and see what we have with regards to any questions on your end. So let me look that up for you here. Such a stretch of wild weather across the area over the last couple of days. How does Duluth look? Bonnie, thanks for asking. Duluth is looking quiet after tonight, so the showers are ending. The cool air is going to be in there on Saturday. Duluth and points north could see some afternoon and evening showers, particularly north of there, up in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Nice evening in Fergus Falls. Kathy, thanks for your report. Bonnie got it, says Bonnie. Good enough. And Karen says, nice to have a quiet night in West Fargo. Same thing for the War Road and Roseau area. Todd checking in from Roseau. So that's a look at what we have going on. I don't see a lot of questions in the forecast right here. I will point this out as we go through. Let's take a look at one model. Couple of interesting factors as we go through a long weekend. There have been some fires out in the west. Is the smoke going to impact us? I'll answer that question in this version of Hutch's Weather as well in your bonus coverage right now on Hutch's Weather. Let's take a look at that vertically integrated smoke through the depth of the atmosphere. This will allow us to see if that smoke swirls its way into our neck of the woods as we go through the end of our work week tomorrow and into the weekend. So you see this little stream moving out of the Wyoming area, and that's going to be working its way south. Look at that cool, dry punch of air flushing all the smoke and crud out of the atmosphere here as we go into your Friday morning and afternoon. Now, northern Minnesota, there's a batch of some smoke that'll be moving out of the Canada area from some fires out there moving through Quebec. Now, as we go down and out in Ontario, I should say, as we look here heading into Saturday, there could be some smoke again heading from some Canadian wildfires pushing into northwest Minnesota. So that's a look at the vertically integrated smoke that you'll see through the atmosphere. Here's a quick peek at the surface smoke. Look at Wyoming. That smoke clears our area. There'll be some surface smoke in the northern reaches of Minnesota as we go through Friday late, and then another batch entering Lake of the Woods area as we go into Saturday afternoon. So some smoke in your forecast up there. That is a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I want to say thanks to everyone who shared photos. Here's a look at a couple of those photos. Again, some rain gauge shots out there and a lot of reports from you. Help Hutch know what these rain clouds were producing as we went through the last couple of days. And this old frog here, Danny reports in the Grand Forks area for the second time this month, a 4-inch rain gauge reading out of those frogs there. So those frogs look pretty happy about that whole situation. Danny, I don't know what you think about it. Now, the wind did some damage to the Valley City area. Here's a look. Whoop, that's those frogs again. At a hydrangea tree out there that Janine had some damage. Some flowers were blown off of. And, it's no fun when the garden takes a hit from these. And then a little bit of rain showing up in Valley City here. A little bit being 3 inches of rain. Thanks, Janine, for sharing your story, your weather story there. Beauty in the skies, thanks to some rainbows seen as well. All of these are thanks to you and you keeping your eyes on the skies weather-wise, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So don't forget, as you go through the holiday weekend, if you're having fun, drop a note by letting all of us see the photos of the fun that you're having on this holiday weekend. I hope you all are safe. I'll keep an update. We'll have a morning update coming up for you as well. But for now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson checking out after a couple of long days. Have a great evening, and don't forget hutchesweather.com, and please follow me on Facebook if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe on the YouTube channel as well.